Welcome to the broadcast, everybody. Before we go any further, before you type a comment, I do not want the comment section awash with loads of Mother's Day greetings. We know it's Mother's Day. The Royals have been posting about Mother's Day. I've got to attend my own Mother's Day celebration later, which is why I'm in a pinch and I'm a bit salty and spicy and off the cuff this morning. That is the spirit of this broadcast, and that's the way it's going to be, my dear. So if you take yourself too seriously or you don't have a sense of humour, you know what you can do, don't you? Get it? Got it? Good. All right. So, in the comment section, no Mother's Day greetings. This isn't the Hallmark channel, this is the River broadcast. Happy Mother... I don't want all those attention seekers, Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers out there. Or, to anybody who's lonely and doesn't have a mother. No, I don't want any of that squawking. None of that, do you hear me? The other thing that I don't want today, it's no secret that I love old people. I speak about them all the time. You know how much I love the late Queen. I prefer the company of old people, and I love the fact that loads of old people watch this broadcast. But honestly, for the last week, under every single video, are there any other 90-year-olds in the house? Are there any other 77-year-olds in the house? And I love every single one of you, my dear. Don't think that I take you for granted and don't want you here, because I do. But please, can somebody reassure me that this isn't just an audience of people in their nursing homes, at Cedar Oaks, or Sunny Harvest, or whatever the homes are called, and the Zimmer frames watching, hello River, it's very nice. Actually, the first performance that I ever gave was at not a nursing home, what was it? It was a sort of Women's Institute day, pensioners, in a little village hall, and I was trussed up as Angel Gabriel and I had to sing Away in the Manger to them, my dears. They loved it and I loved them, so I've always had that kind of relationship. But, as one of you said in the comment section, is this a geriatrics board? You said, I'm 77, I'm joining in the fun, but is this a geriatrics board? Please, if there is anybody there under the age of 50, it would be nice to hear from you. If there's anybody, because in my demographics, it shows me and tells me that there's people of all ages and ranges, and there's a real variety. A real hodgepodge. But honestly, reading through the comments, talk about graveyard shift. Please, if somebody out there, and a few guys, it wouldn't, so many of you tell me, I've had a lot in the comments in the past week, my husband's grown to love watching you through me watching your show, River. Yeah, I watch you. And first of all, you were a guilty pleasure for my hubby. He started looking over my shoulder, but now he watches all the time and laughs a lot. I love it. But please, can we hear from some of the boys? Can we hear from some of the teenagers and the young ones out there? I know they might be a bit thin on the ground. Henry Cavill, are you watching, my dear, please? If you look like Henry Cavill, that'd be wonderful. Or David Gandy, or Sean Lamont, that'd be absolutely splendid. Say hello, my dear. Take me out for a drive sometime, offer your services. Don't get me wrong. As I said, I love all the seasons, my dear, but variety is a spice of life, isn't it, my lovers? Can you hear me? And honestly, over the last week, so many people telling me to get a new microphone, dear, so we can hear you. We can't hear you very well. It's your hearing device, my loves. It's your hearing device. Get a new device, or turn up the little volume button at the side. Love you to pieces, my dear, but, I can only do what I can do. Now, what else have we got to discuss? Oh, yes, there's the curious case of River Gibbs, because over the last, a few months, but actually it escalated over the last week or so, 10, 20 comments perhaps, not even asking me if I'm this person called River Gibbs, but telling other people in the comment section now, did you know that River is actually a person called River Gibbs from Kentucky? Apparently I'm some chap called River Gibbs from Kentucky. I had to Google this person. And the reason I didn't address it in the past was because it didn't really concern me what people thought. And secondly, if I issue a denial that I am this River Gibbs person, that's just going to send the conspiracy theorists into even more of a spin, isn't it? Oh, no. I'm not even sure whether I should dredge it up, might not, but this person, I will pop on the screen somewhere, is apparently River Gibbs, somebody I've never heard of, and if my surname was Gibbs, then I would drop it and use a completely different stage name. So that's the first thing you need to know. Secondly, yes, I can see some kind of resemblance. Yes, I can see what people might think. But first of all, well, you haven't seen my height, but I'm about 6'1" in height. This River Gibbs looks rather a lot shorter than that. He's probably young enough to be my grandson as well. The eye colour is totally different. I have green eyes, green, the colour of envy, my dear, pure envy. And I don't wear contact lenses, you don't know that. But this chap seems to have brown eyes. He's got dimples, he's got a mark somewhere around here or there that I haven't got. What else did I write in my notes? Well, he's a Michael Jackson impersonator. He dances to old Michael Jackson. hits. Michael, you think that I would waste my time doing that, my dear? I mean, I would be dressing up as Madonna and doing Madonna if I was around the Kentucky festivals. I would be doing a woman, my dear. I'd be doing true drag, not trussed up as Michael Jackson. And this poor River Gibbs character, who was famous for being a Michael Jackson, big in the Michael Jackson world, but he fell foul of the Michael Jackson fans, because when that documentary came out about Michael Jackson, the accusations against him. And before I go on, I'm going to ask my little small handful of moderators out there, anybody who discusses Michael Jackson or makes a defense of him or reprimands me for saying what I'm about to say, just block them. Block them. You've got my permission to block them. I don't like blocking people, but I don't want to hear any sort of lecture from anybody. So, because we all know how crazy Wacko Jacko fans can get, and I love his music as much as anybody else's. But this River Gibbs, he was a big star in the Michael Jackson world, and then he watched the documentary and he was convinced that Michael Jackson was guilty. And guess what? I've actually said this in the past before, so was I. I found it very compelling and I believed every word they said. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I believed every word. So we do have that in common. But yeah, his eyebrows are totally different as well. Well, every feature of his is different to mine when you actually take a proper look and have a good old stare. But, the nose is different. I think I've got a larger nose. Everything's different. At a first glance, fine, yes. As you will say, Jude Law, Kate Blanchett, all these different things. But people are actually saying it as if they know it as fact, that you've got to have some kind of talent to fake this, haven't you? If you're Kentucky born, you're putting a lot of faith of talent into this young Kentucky lad. Apparently this young Kentucky lad, this Michael Jackson impersonator. Do you really, I'm sorry, my dear, but you can't fabricate this sort of mind, this sort of intellect, this sort of insight into various worlds within the kingdom. It would take an awful lot of research and method acting beyond, the capabilities of Laurence Olivier, my dear Laurence Olivier. Some of you are lunatics, to be quite honest with you, my dear. I know lots of you meant it with love, and none of you were disparaging about it, but it really brings it home to me what the likes of Meghan even goes through with various conspiracy theories out there. It's the madness of crowds. Somebody says it, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes to be believed. Don't even question, just take it as fact. So it's probably not even worth me issuing a denial, because people believe what they want to believe. But I am not River Gibbs. That is a categorical denial from me. And please leave the poor lad alone as well, wherever he is. Who's also on his YouTube channel, which is now sort of defunct. It's got a rainbow emoji. If you know anything, I am not part of any sort of community, my dear. I don't go around brandishing rainbows, not in this day and age. Everyone that does that has got something wrong with them. I don't go around brandishing rainbows. I'm chasing rainbows, like Judy Garland, my dear, like our Judy, Judy, Judy. I'm chasing rainbows, and I'm always chasing rainbows. So can we please have some decorum? But just for 2 seconds, I will have to draw attention to the fact that the royal family posted Mother's Day greetings and everything, and they're allowed to do it because, they're royal and it's sort of expected of them. Doesn't make me think it's any less vulgar. There was a time when the greetings of the day, be it birthday or Crimbo or Mother's Day or Father's Day or great-great-step-grandfather's day, all this kind of thing, evil, wicked stepmother's day. Hi Camilla, it's Harry. There was a time when these things were kept private. Can you imagine the bliss of that era? They were just private events. They weren't squawked from the rooftops. Happy day to my darling. This, that and the third, these boastful, humble brags. There was a day when they weren't there. It just privately went round and offered your greetings or made a telephone call or sent a lovely card, and you didn't expect a text reply. Thank you for the card. The card was enough. All this kind of thing, my dear. And photographic albums. Well, albums. They're physical objects you held in your hand, my dear, with private photographs. Not the thought of publishing them for the world to see. And now, the thought of keeping them to yourself. the thought of keeping a photo to yourself and not showing it to the whole wide world. I'm quite sure now on Facebook, if I was to have a look, there'd be 60 roast dinners being shown. Look what we're having for Sunday lunch. Look what I'm about to digest, and then shit out the other side into some great big steaming turd pile. This is the kind of thing, the vulgarity of the world. So, even though I can understand the royal family having to do it or being encouraged to do it on their social media accounts, if I had my way, dear, even if the monarchy went under. Out. None of that social media malarkey. Happy birthday, Harry. Happy birthday, Lily. Charlotte. No. I mean, what is royal going to be anymore? Do you know what I mean? I mean, they're already merging it in together with celebrity. And now the royal family are doing it themselves. Well, it's vulgar. But of course, the photographs were absolutely gorgeous, provided by the Waleses. We had them in a tree. We had a little Louis in arms, and they are, it's unequivocal. It can't be argued. They're absolutely beautiful pictures. Adorable. These were taken a while ago, by the way, in Sandringham. The same photo shoot that was used for a previous Christmas card, it was, by Matt Porteous. That's right. Yes, and Charles issued greetings to beloved Mama, beloved Mama, oh, beloved this, beloved that, darling boy. Yes, sometimes even I want to give him a bit of a shake. And Camilla sent wishes to her dead mother who died. Well, no, she didn't. It was a photograph of her mother, Rosalind, long departed, who was a lovely lady by all accounts. Anne Cunningham says, as a dumpy, squat, 5'4" old bird, I truly envy Catherine. If only I had a tiny percent of what she has, I can dream. Anne Cunningham, you do have a tiny percent of what she has. You do. And you know what you do have, Anne Cunningham? Well, first of all, you've got a royal name. Anne is exceptionally royal, so it should be easy for you, Lady Cunningham. It should be easy for you to channel the royal spirit with a name like Anne, one of the most royal names possible. You have self-awareness. You know what you are, and you don't shy away from it, my dear. You're a dumpy, squat, 5'4" old bird, and I love that about you, my dear. Just like in the last few broadcasts, I said I'm a bitter old queen, and I don't need anybody to stroke my ego about that fact and pretend that it's otherwise. That is a side to me. Yes, I happen to be beautiful. Yes, I happen to have a sparkling personality with a supermodel figure and an incredible sense of humour unrivalled. But I can be modest in other ways at certain times when it's necessary. So you pluck out what you can where you can, Anne Cunningham. And I think it's royal that you consider yourself dumpy and squat. What I find very unroyal is people who are dumpy and squat and then insist that they are fun size, curvy, fond of pizza, whatever you want to call it, my dear. Dumpy, squat, wonderful words, aren't they? And it just makes me think that you're actually probably really rather sexy. And let's also remember that who else was dumpy and squat and short old bird? Queen Victoria, yes. Our beloved Drina, yes, my dear. So you've got it in common with her. Channel the royal spirit. Buy a little replica, what are they called, the little crown things that she had, little crownlet. Get one of them, my love, and just own it, my dear. Own that dumpy squatness, because I tell you what, there's a lot of men out there that find it extremely sexy. So channel the royal spirit. It doesn't matter whether you're thin as a rail as I am, a clothes hanger, or whether you're a great big pumpkin. All can be delicious, right? A stick of celery is sometimes what you need, or a twiglet, or a noodle, or no, actually, what's kind of inviting and yet rail thin? A calippo, or a candy bar, my dear, a stick of candy. Well, that's how I suppose you could describe me. And then when it comes to you, my dear, a great big molten lump of chocolate Easter egg. Yes, because Easter's coming, isn't it, my dear? So, Anne, you are royal, and I appreciate you. And yes, you may not look like Catherine, but you certainly have what she has, which is an understanding of what you are, and you're not trying to escape from it, She is glamorous, royal, and beautiful, and you're dumpy, Scott, and an old bird. And both of those things are absolutely fine and absolutely good and proper. Okay, so I suppose I should sandwich in a little bit of royal news here, shouldn't I? Before we go on to any more silliness, which I'm afraid we will be doing today. And that is the subject of Harry. Because when you turn to the subject of Harry, it is a horse of a different sphere, my dear, as they say on Calamity Jane. Yes, my dear, oh, Doris Day. Do you remember, ladies, my old dears, my old fruits, old Doris Day? She only just died, didn't she, a few years ago? Thought she was going to go on forever like the Queen. Julie Andrews, or we've still got Dame Julie, haven't we? Kind of left this country. But, oh yes, Doris Day, Doris Day. So sunny. I digress. Don't distract me, my dears. I'm trying to educate you on the subject of Harry. Is libel claim. Documents have emerged. You know, he's up to this libel claim here in the kingdom. Suing Associated News Limited over an article last February concerning his legal challenge against the government's decision to deny him and his family the right to automatic protection when he's here in the kingdom. Remember that? And the article said that he'd tried to keep secret parts of his legal fight with the Home Office over his security and had attempted to spin the dispute in his favour by claiming that he had offered to pay for protection himself. And his lawyers said this week that Prince Harry is gravely concerned about his safety and security during these trips to the United Kingdom. He feels he has no choice but to take legal action given the gravity of what is at stake for him and his family. Well, first of all, my dear, why do you need to come here anyway? Why do you need to come to the kingdom? And why do your family need to come to the kingdom when you travel here? For the coronation. You don't have to come, love. Stay home for Archie's birthday. Put your feet up. Meghan can put on a casserole. You don't have to be here, loves. We don't need you. Old Blighty's going to get on just fine without you. Send my love to your new lover. Why do you need to come here? No one is forcing you to be here. You have Montecito. You have the good people of Montecito. You have the unrelenting sunshine and all the bullsack surrounding that, my lover. Why do you need to come here with your family? You do not. Do you understand that? And also, why was it necessary for you to relocate to another continent? I mean, I quite like that arrangement. But, you know, you didn't have to go the full hog. Well, the press are after us in the kingdom. Well, the press are after you wherever you are, aren't they? You could have formed your little enclave here on the Isle of Scilly, or the Isle of Wight, or the Isle of Dogs. You know, there are plenty of islands around here. There are the Outer Hebrides, my dear. There are places that are closer to the kingdom that would have made security arrangements much more easy to do, much more, you know. And part of their complaint is that they were told to give 28 days notice if they wanted to come to the kingdom, which I don't think sounds unreasonable at all. It's only 28 days. Well, Harry took umbrage with this. Apparently he was absolutely furious about this, and he wanted to hear precedent about which other ex-people of interest that have been in the public eye, or royal figures, or those with the grave security risk. He wants to know. He's been asking who else that left those responsibilities has been denied the chance to get automatic security, because the only issue is that he's been told they need 28 days notice to discuss whether or not he will be granted security. That's one of the only issues, which I think sounds reasonable, but the Duke doesn't like it because the Duke's the Duke, and he needs everything right now and immediately, because Meghan's told him what's key, and she's an executive, and she wants things done right here, right now. Do you hear me, Sussex survivors? It's 5 a.m. in the morning. No, it's not. It's 3 a.m. in the morning, and I've been baking cookies, and I want to tell you how we do things in America. I want to tell you how things we do in America. They are ready to go. At the crack of the whip, the crack of dawn. Well, over here in England, my dear, we wait for our working hours because we're ladies in waiting. Waiting? I don't do waiting. I'm American and I know what's key. Yeah, that was all that clash, wasn't there, with the Sussex survivors. The lawyers for the Duke say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been subject to intense media scrutiny, hostile social media attention and targeting by violent extremists due to the Duke's 10 years of military service in the British Army. The Duke No, the Duchess of Sussex's race and their involvement in charitable and other social justice initiatives. Sorry, my dear, I don't wear my spectacles on these because of the glare. And don't give me suggestions. Yeah, well, so he says, subject to increased intense media scrutiny. They invited that scrutiny. They're publishing books. They are media whores. They are inviting it with their legs wide open, my dear. And that's a wonderful feeling, and I don't blame them, you know. As somebody said to me the other day, you want to be, what was it? A lady in the kitchen and a whore in the bedroom, or something like that. Or a lady in public and a whore in the bedroom. And that describes me perfectly. It's exactly the way that one should me. But, you know, they are being media whores. Legs spread wide open, shaft me, shaft me, shaft me, shaft me. So if he doesn't want intense media scrutiny, then don't intensely approach the media for your merchings and your trappings of fame and excess. You know, if they invite scrutiny, then the scrotums will receive it. Okay? You invite scrutiny, you get scrutiny. And I don't want to think about those fuzzy gingers, that fuzzy ginger scrota. Scrotum. Hostile attention, you say you get, and targets by extremists. Yeah, well, who was... by the hairs of my chinny chin chin, scratching the beehive, the voice of the beehive. And yes, I know it's a bit lopsided, my dears, but you know, I've got an asymmetrical thing going on. All right, so don't come for the beehive. Well, sort of modest little anthill there, isn't it? Honey in the hive. I've got all the honey in the hive to make you feel alive, my dear, so pull it on in. I digress. Who is the one that had to deal with extremists, my dear? Yeah, the late Queen Liz, when somebody came after her with a crossbow because they were mental, bloody mental case, but also because they had been encouraged to believe that the royal family are racist. Yes, a crossbow could have finished off Queen Elizabeth II. A crossbow at Windsor Castle. He was captured in the grounds, this nutcase. Who knows what exactly was going on in this boy's mind, but I do feel that it is because of the hatred that you've been whipping up and all this controversy over race, this kind of thing. So, yeah, there was the Queen to think about, and you say that you faced danger due to 10 years of military service. No, my dear. No, my dear. This was due to your own revelations. Yes, I do understand that there had been some danger because of that before, but you exacerbated it with the revelations, the body count in your own book, and you know that generated a heap more headlines. You did that, and you've also put an extra pressure on the coronation and the royal family and their security. So what about you having to reimburse all of them for the extra millions they're going to have to be shelling out because of you and the danger that you have put them under? And you say you're in danger because of the Duchess of Sussex's race. Well, I know this might be unusual and you might not be expecting it from me, but actually I have said it elsewhere. I have, and this is to give some fairness to the other side of the coin. I have heard insiders speaking, not just privately, but also publicly. It is online, it's verified. Insiders from our intelligence services saying that they have seen some crazy stuff come in from troubled people. It's usually gaga people. It's gaga people, infatuated, fixated people. Even YouTubers like me have to deal with them. And so I do accept that even though I never believed or accepted that this was some huge problem of race within the kingdom, because it's not, I do accept that there are troubled minds and sick individuals out there who put the intelligence service on alert and would alarm any family, let alone a royal family. So I will accept that part. And Harry went on to complain and moan about the arrangements in 2021 when he arrived in the kingdom. I think it was for Princess Diana's statue, that unveiling, that affair. He described the security arrangements for that as patchy, disjointed and inadequate. Well, my dear Harry, you weren't so concerned about security, were you? And the whereabouts of your patchy, disjointed, inadequate bodyguards when you went off to shag Sasha Walpole in a field behind a pub, were you? No, you were quick to evade them then. skittle off into your vices, weren't you, love? You were quick there. You had no issue with your security there when they were bumbling around. Oh, where's Harry? Where's Harry? Where's he gone? Where's he gone this time? Who knows? Offer another shag, offer another cigarette, offer another line, you know, having your fun. Oh, you didn't have a care in the world there, did you, my dear? I just want Sasha. Get your leg over. Sow the royal seed. What would you have said to that bodyguard if he had arrived with a little flashlight as Sasha Walpole is riding you? Health for leather. Oi, what's going on here, mate? What's going on here? Get off! I'm losing my V. I'm losing my virginity to a commoner, and you are ruining it for me. Can you seriously imagine? He would have said, off with his head. He would have insisted that bodyguard get into trouble. And here he is complaining, I ask you. And Harry's lawyers insist that this 28-day period, which is all that Ravec, the safety committee, are asking for, creates uncertainty and could threaten his safety. 28 days. I mean, what is so pressing that he needs to come over here so very quickly? He can't stop telling us how much he wants to stay away. It beggars belief. And anyway, he's asked the judge to rule in favour without a trial. And associated newspapers are saying that no, that is completely without merit. So we'll see how it evolves. They have a sneaky way of getting away with these sort of affairs, don't they? So we'll see how it goes. Jill Finch speaks about the safety of the Walesers, saying she worries more if Prince William, Princess Catherine and the 3 children are in one vehicle. One of the children needs to be elsewhere to protect the line of succession. The alternative will bring down the monarchy as it relies on goodwill of nation, and we will never be willing to accept the Harkles. They need to be removed from the line of succession. I agree. Well, I absolutely agree with you that they would not be accepted. Yes, they've got a few fans here and there, but no, they would not be accepted at all within the kingdom. To be honest with you, let's face it, if they were wiped out, and, you know, obviously, heaven forbid, and all this, that and the third, you know, just hypothetically speaking, if the Walesers were wiped, then I think the monarchy would probably draw to a close, a dignified close, you know, a tragic but dignified close. But the Harkles would be out. Next in line of succession is the Duke of York, who would be out. That would not be acceptable. But who might be accepted is the next line in succession, and that, of course, would be Queen Beatrice. Yes, Beatrice would be there in a thrice to seize the crown and give us a queen. And I actually think that she would make a decent queen. I actually do think. Not that I'm wishing it. You fruitcakes out there who are going to start saying, don't wish it. I mean, get a life. I'm playing about. Beatrice would be wonderful. Fabulous name for a queen as well, isn't it? Beatrice. I rather love that name. I mean, we don't want Hughes. You know, I don't have anything hugely against the girl, but we don't want Hughes. And I don't want Fergie flutting around as the, you know, acting like the Queen Mother either. I'm getting a bit fed up with her lately, to be honest with you. She is... Yeah, she's gone too far lately in a few different ways. We'll discuss that in a different time. Beatrice, and then after Beatrice would be Queen Sienna. Yes, Queen Sienna. So we'd have 2 queens following each other. Wonderful. But of course that won't happen, and everyone will be absolutely fine. But we will not be seeing a King Henry the whatever. What would it be? King Henry the 9th? I guess so. No, we will not be having that happen. I do not think so, my dear. Blitzy279. Oh yes, you're the one that mentioned Henry Cavill. I think that Catherine being an apple for the eyes with her looks can be the same example as what Henry Cavill is like, an apple for the eyes too. They are both photogenic and good looking. Strange comparison to make, dear, but I take it on board. They don't give any sort of bad vibe, so because of that their looks become more enhanced by it, and that is why both men and females love them. Henry Cavill, and I'm just bringing him up because I've never seen him in films or anything. I don't watch modern films. Everything I watch is really last century. I rarely watch new films. I did go and watch that new Avatar thing the other day that everyone's been waiting decades to come out with. And yeah, I did actually rather enjoy it, considering how long the movie is. The one with the 3D glasses, yeah, I saw that. I rather enjoyed that. I haven't really seen anything else recently. So I've never seen Henry Cavill and everything, but I am aware of him, and I do think, you know, it is rare you will find me salivating over a man that I've never met, let alone a celebrity. I'm not into all that type of thing. And I always say, you can't, as we say in the kingdom here, fancy somebody unless you meet them. And, you know, so you really can't. But I think he is absolutely divine looking, Henry Cavill. He's got looks, he's got a good height. He's just got these wonderful features that sort of pop here and there that I think are absolutely gorgeous. So I agree with you there, my dear. And he does look lovely as well. He looks like a nice man. But you can never tell, my dear, what's going on behind the curtain. Also lately I've been noticing Aaron Taylor-Johnson. I think he's not exactly my type, although I don't really have a type. But I think he's got sex appeal from what he looks like. And also he's got a really nice cock. As has Sean Lamont. Fabulous Willie. And Sean Lamont is a rugby player that I've told you before. For those that ask, you know, who I have a crush on, very few people, but I think Sean Lamont has got the most fantastic rugby physique, especially a few years ago. Really nice penis. And David Gandy as well. David Gandy, you know, the model. Only my type sort of physically, really. Beautiful sapphire eyes, stunning blue eyes, wonderful complexion, fabulous bone structure. And yes, very nice. But I'm digressing. ED63 says, Catherine has it all, beauty and elegance aside. She radiates the energy of a kind and thoughtful woman who shows humility and empathy. You cannot fake these qualities. Catherine learned well from the late Queen and Philip. You know, I do sense, and again, idiots and Fruit Loops who are very sort of binary about subjects, might disparage me for this, but she does have a healthy dose of narcissism in her. You know, it is healthy to have a dose of it in every person for self-esteem. It doesn't mean that you have a personality disorder, but have an element of that. And I do sense a little of that in Catherine. She does have it, which I think is a fabulous thing. So it's not that I think that she's completely free of vanity at all, but you know, there is good pride, there is good healthy pride, the pride of a chef brandishing her first souffle, as I often say, and then there is, you know, a jealous, sort of possessive, insecure pride, and it's the same with vanity and all these kind of things, my dears. Everything has its various qualities. You know, it's about elemental balancing for those of us that have studied Wicca at some point. The secret is to learn and take an interest and not think about yourself, but to concentrate on the other person. Yes, that is what charm is, my dear. That is what charisma is. You know, I'm talking about really good-looking people, but it's just as sexy, and it's just as riveting, and it's just as powerful to have somebody who's ugly as sin talk to you, but give you all their rapt attention and, you know, be interested. I mean, not like some fixated kind of drone, my dear, but, you know, to really feel that they are listening. You know, my dear, absorbing you. That is charisma, that is charm, you know, in some ways. Meghan is also a beautiful woman, you say, but on the outside, sadly, she doesn't truly care about the other person. No one in Meghan's life is more important than Meghan, and it shows when she tries to hide it. Well, lots of people would agree with you, my dear. Lots of people would agree with you. Lots of people say that Meghan is as beautiful inside as she is outside, and many people speak about how wonderful she is behind the scenes in many unsung ways. So for the sake of fairness, I'm going to throw that out there as well, because otherwise it's just some weird echo chamber. But yes, it also is noticed that narcissistic side in her, you know, whenever she visits a charity or photos, that it's always, yes, she does do these sort of fabulous things to some degree, but it's, as you say, you sense that it is more about her than it is about them. Even if that ends up with nice things for those charities or good solutions for them. So in some ways, I will give it props that it might have very favourable outcomes for these people. But there's always that sense of her when she pops along or runs along to wherever it was it in Texas? Excuse me, it's just gone from the brain for a minute. Texas, like, you know, she ran there to help and everything. You know, who could complain about that? But, you know, you hear these stories about her, and you can just imagine her doing the washing up and helping, but getting the thrill from it, this sort of thrill of, I'm here, I'm here. And you know, so I saw it in photographs of her last week in a way that I don't see in Catherine. She was sort of in the middle of these people that she was helping at one of her charity things, so International Women's Day. And they were looking at her with joy and pleasure. Thank you for coming this, that and the 7th. But you know, it's Meg on the Sailor with her descomisados at her side, and it's just, oh, I just love being of help, I love being of service, and she does, but it's because of the reflected glories, ain't it, my lover? You know, at least try and hide it, my dear, at least try and conceal it. Do you know what I mean? And that is what you see more in the Edinburghs. Edinburgh! Sup high, Edinburgh! It's grace. It is taken down to make it about them, to make it about the people, the subjects. The real unsung heroes are amongst us, amongst many of you watching this, who will be trotting off to do a night shift at a hospital. You know, your 10th night shift in a row. Possibly without any sleep, you know, tinkering away in the background. No one comes up to you and thanks you for your help. You know, you just get on, do your job. Thank people throughout the pandemic, supermarket checkouts, you know, doing this, that, in all manner of, and not just low-falutin jobs as well, high-falutin work. It happens in all classes, in all ways. But it's just the attitude, exactly as you say, my dear, the attitude, and not making it about you, giving your time to people. That is generosity, you know, that is the riches of life. And on that note, I'm getting the hell out of here. I've got a mother to deal with and all kinds of arrangements, as I'm sure some of you have as well. But thank you very much for stopping by. I hope you've taken this broadcast in the good humour that it is intended. I'm just being playful. And I hope that you will be playful in the comment section too. Leave me a nice juicy comment. If I made you giggle, send me a tip in the tip jar. And if I didn't make you giggle, well, fuck you. Toodle pip, my dears. Toodle pip.